Hello, orchid lovers around the world. What I have here is a fairly healthy orchid, as you can see. The leaves are a healthy, deep green, indicating successful photosynthesis, although one of the lower leaves on the left is noticeably drooping or limp, which can be an early sign of dehydration or root issues within the pot. The most striking characteristic is the profusion of thick, gray-green aerial roots climbing out of the potting mix and over the pot's edge. While the presence of aerial roots is natural for this type of orchid, the sheer mass of them suggests the plant has significantly outgrown its container and is likely seeking more space, air, or moisture than the current bark medium can provide, indicating a likely need for repotting. To fix this, we're going to start by gently removing the orchid from its old pot. Take your time here, as forcing it out too quickly can damage the roots. Now, in many tutorials, you'll see people completely removing all of the old substrate from the roots. But in our case, we'll take a slightly different approach. Instead of stripping everything away, we're only going to remove some of the substrate, carefully shaking off the loose bark around the roots. The rest will be kept snug within the plant itself. Now we will use a clean shear or scissor and carefully trim away any parts of the roots that are no longer able to provide nutrients to the plant. These roots are usually soft, mushy, or hollow when you press them, and leaving them attached can attract rot or disease. By removing them, we're making sure only the strong and healthy roots remain. It's also important to sterilize your cutting tool before you begin, either by wiping it with alcohol or heating the blade briefly, so that no bacteria or fungus are passed into the fresh cuts. Take your time with this step, because clean and healthy roots are the foundation for a thriving orchid. Next, grab yourself a clean basin and fill it with fresh water. Make sure the basin is large enough to hold the entire orchid comfortably, because in this step we want the whole plant to be fully submerged. Once the basin is ready, gently place the orchid inside and press it down until the leaves and roots are completely under the water. If the orchid tries to float back up, don't worry. Just use a clean object, like a small plate or a light stone, to hold it in place. We'll let the orchid soak like this for a while, giving the water time to reach every part of the plant. This soaking has several benefits. It rehydrates the roots after trimming, loosens any stubborn pieces of old bark or debris still clinging to them, and also helps wash away dust or tiny pests that may be hiding on the leaves. Now, let's move on to making the fertilizer. We'll start by preparing a clean container and filling it with fresh water. Once the container is ready, add in 1 teaspoon of sugar and gently whisk it until the sugar is fully dissolved. This simple mixture works as a quick source of energy for the plant, helping the roots and leaves recover after trimming and soaking. Make sure you stir it well so there are no sugar grains left at the bottom, and once it's evenly mixed, set the container aside for a moment. Now we will use a special ingredient, Malabar spinach. For this recipe, we only need the leaves, so go ahead and gather all of them from the bunch. Make sure to rinse the leaves thoroughly under clean water first, as this will remove any dirt, dust, or tiny insects that may be clinging to the surface. Once they're clean, pat them dry gently with a cloth or tissue, because we want the leaves fresh and ready for blending. After that, place all of the leaves into a blender. Malabar spinach leaves are rich in natural minerals and nutrients, which makes them a great organic booster for our orchid fertilizer. When blended, they break down into a smooth, green liquid that the plant can absorb more easily, acting like a natural tonic to strengthen both roots and leaves. So go ahead and blend the leaves until they turn into a smooth mixture, making sure there are no big chunks left behind. Once you're done blending, take a strainer and carefully pour the mixture through it. This will filter out any leftover fibers or larger compounds that couldn't be broken down in the blender. What you'll be left with is a smooth, nutrient-rich green liquid, which will serve as the base for our homemade fertilizer. Next, take 3 tablets of vitamin B1 and drop them straight into the solution. Vitamin B1 is known for reducing transplant shock and encouraging stronger root development, which is especially helpful for orchids that have just been repotted or trimmed. After adding the tablets, give the solution a good whisk or stir until the tablets are fully dissolved. Make sure there are no chunks left floating around, because we want the nutrients to spread evenly throughout the liquid. After about 20 minutes, our orchid should be done with its bath. By this time, the roots will have soaked up plenty of moisture, and you might even notice they've turned from a grayish color to a healthy, vibrant green. That's the sign we're ready for the next step. Before taking it out of the basin, grab a clean tissue or soft cloth and gently give the leaves one final rub. This helps remove any remaining dust, dirt, or tiny particles that may still be clinging on. It also leaves the leaves looking shiny and fresh, almost as if the orchid just came from a spa treatment. Now we will first use the sugar solution. Carefully take the orchid and turn it upside down, making sure that only the leaves are submerged into the liquid. This way, the leaf can directly absorb the nutrients and energy from the sugar, giving them an instant boost after the repotting process. Gently press the orchid down so that the leaves are completely under the solution, but be careful not to damage or bend them too harshly. Once they are fully submerged, leave the orchid in this position for about 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, take the orchid out of the solution, and you can see the difference right away. The leaves should look more refreshed, slightly firmer to the touch, and with a brighter, healthier sheen on the surface. This shows that the plant has absorbed some of the nutrients directly through its leaves. If you take a closer look, you may even notice that the orchid looks more hydrated overall, as if it just had a full drink of energy. Let's move on to the spinach solution. Remember the sugar solution we prepared earlier? I hope you haven't thrown it away, because now we're going to combine it with the spinach blend. Go ahead and pour the sugar solution directly into the spinach liquid and give it a good mix so that everything is evenly combined and fully coated. Once the mixture is smooth, transfer it into a large container that's big enough to hold our orchid comfortably. Now, instead of submerging the leaves like before, we're going to focus on the roots this time. Gently place the orchid into the container, making sure only the roots are submerged under the solution. This allows the plant to drink in the nutrients directly where it needs them most, strengthening the root system and encouraging new growth. After 45 minutes, let's take a look at how our little guy is doing. It seems that the solution is kicking in very well. The roots should look plumper, more vibrant in color, and you might even notice tiny new tips starting to show at the ends. That's a clear sign that the nutrients are being absorbed and the orchid is responding positively. The leaves may also appear a bit firmer, as the hydration from the roots is slowly moving upward through the plant. This is exactly what we want to see after a restorative soak. Now let's prepare a new home for our orchid. We're going to start with a pot that has clear drainage holes, because orchids love good airflow and can't sit in standing water. Next, take some pine bark and add it as the first layer at the bottom of the pot. This will create a stable base and keep the roots lifted with plenty of air circulation. Now, carefully position the orchid in the center of the pot. Once it's steady, begin filling the rest of the pine bark around the roots, making sure everything is snug but not too tight. Remember, orchids like a little breathing room. Finally, cover the top layer with moss. This will help keep the surface moist for longer periods and protect the tender roots underneath. While we're doing this, did you know that moth orchids, also known by their scientific name Phalaenopsis, are among the most popular and widely grown orchids in the entire world? They earned the nickname moth orchid because their blooms resemble delicate moths fluttering in midair, and once you notice it, you can't unsee it. In their natural habitat, moth orchids are epiphytes, which means they don't grow in soil at all. Instead, they cling to tree trunks and branches in warm, humid forests across Southeast Asia and parts of Australia. From there, they gather moisture and nutrients from rainfall, morning dew, and decaying organic matter that washes down the trees. To finish, give it a gentle spray of clean water, just enough to settle the moss and fresh bark into place. After 2 weeks, you can already see huge changes in your orchid. The leaves look firmer, the color is deeper and brighter, and the roots are starting to show signs of new growth with fresh green tips appearing. These are all signs that the plant is recovering well and adjusting to its new home. From here on out, routine care is absolutely critical. Consistency is what keeps orchids thriving over the long term, so don't skip the small steps. Keep wiping the leaves regularly to prevent dust and pests. Water carefully so the roots get hydrated without sitting in excess moisture. And make sure your orchid gets bright but indirect light each day. Remember, orchids don't like sudden changes, so maintaining a steady rhythm of care will help the plant feel secure. With this balance, you're not just keeping it alive, you're preparing it for the next big stage, sending up new spikes that will eventually bring back those stunning blooms. Finally, 28 days have passed, and would you look at that? Our orchid has not only recovered its strength, but has also rewarded us with something truly magical, a beautiful flower in bloom. Think back to where we started. Just 4 weeks ago, the leaves were soft and dull, the roots looked tired, and the plant seemed to be holding on with what little energy it had left. We trimmed away the unhealthy roots, gave it a careful soak, nourished it with a natural homemade solution, and repotted it into fresh bark and moss to create a safe and airy environment. Step by step, the orchid responded. The roots turned plump and green. The leaves grew firmer and brighter, and slowly, new energy began to flow through the entire plant. Now, all of that gentle routine care has come together in this moment. The orchid has built up its reserves, regained its rhythm, and finally decided to give us the best reward it can offer, a flower spike that has opened into a perfect, radiant bloom. This bloom is more than just pretty petals, it's proof of resilience. Orchids are often misunderstood as fragile, but when cared for with patience and consistency, they reveal just how strong and enduring they really are. The flower before us is the result of balanced watering, steady light, regular leaf cleaning, and the natural nutrients we provided along the way. And here's the best part. This is only the beginning. A healthy Phalaenopsis bloom can last for weeks, even months, if you continue the same routine care. With each day, the flower will open wider, showing off its delicate patterns and colors. And if conditions stay right, more buds along the spike may continue to unfold one after another. So take a moment to really appreciate this transformation. In just 28 days, We've gone from struggling orchid to one that proudly shows off a flower, a living symbol of patience, care, and reward. And there you have it. In just 28 days, with patience, consistency, and a little bit of care, we've guided this orchid from tired and struggling state, all the way to producing a healthy flower that brightens up our space. This journey shows that orchids aren't complicated or fragile. They simply ask for the right balance of water, light, and attention. If you give them that, they will reward you with beauty unlike any other plant. So whether you're a beginner just starting out or a long-time orchid lover, remember, every bit of care you give adds up, and every bloom is a reminder of the patience you've invested. Thank you so much for joining me in this orchid journey. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more orchid care tips, and share this with fellow plant lovers who might need some inspiration. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and let your orchids shine.